I don't want to necessarily visit cathedrals. I don't want to look at tapestries and art as the total focus of my holiday. I like the thought of being able to meet the people, and this gives us the opportunity to do that in a more personal way. Certainly contact with people we would never have the opportunity to meet.
I felt like I had a calling where I wanted to actually do something to make a difference someplace. And I know that's very vague because that's all I knew, is I wanted to help someone, some people, as opposed to just sitting on a beach reading a book.
I prefer being a global volunteer as compared to being a tourist, because you're with other tourists when you're a tourist. You don't really get a flavor of the reality of that country or that custom. I mean, it's just seeing sights, the type of memories that I'll have from this. I might not be able to point out the church that I visited yesterday, but in my heart will be those smiling faces. And they're, you know, have you sit here, you sit here. I want, you know, they're like telling me, come sit at their table. I mean, how can you replace that?
Minnesota-based Global Volunteers sends Americans for short 2 to 3 week projects in some 20 developing and developed nations throughout the world. In Sistarino, a small, out-of-the-way town in southern Italy, volunteers become teachers' aides while getting to know the local Italian culture.
Stand nose to nose. Stand arm in arm. Clap your hands.
The volunteers in our class are teachers for 15 days like we are. So they work with us, they do the same thing we do. They dramatize, play, jump, and move, and teach, and pronounce all what we need to know. And children are really enthusiastic of these volunteers just because they know something different than the usual life they do.
Before I do that?
Yes, I do like this.
These holes are bigger than mine at home. Yeah, because at home they're...
I don't put all, but only
No.
half. You want to do it?
Of course.
Try.
You get only the juice, a little
Yes,
bit, a little bit.
the fact is that my children don't like to have this stuff.
Okay, so where
Only
do you
this
put
one.
it?
No,
Where-
no. Do like
No,
this.
I know, but where do you put...
No, I'd go on.
Because I take it out and put the
No,
other
no.
one in, no?
Well, regular tourism is sort of empty. You go to large cities, you stay in large hotels, you're with mainly foreigners, whether they're Americans or Germans, Japanese. You don't really get to know the people, to see the people. This way, as ambassadors for our country, we're invited into the homes of the people. We're warmly welcomed, and we get to know the families. And I think that's much more interesting. I think we get a lot more for ourselves than we actually give.
They give the children the possibility to know everything or a lot of news about the country where they come from. So they study geography in this way. And then they listen to American people speaking in the way they use in America. And they give us a lot of news about the way of children act or behave in their schools. So the children come in close contact with these people, become friends, because most of the time at the end of the period they cry because they are happy to have had them and not happy because they go away. So they give us help in teaching because they help our students how to pronounce well the words, which is not easy for us because we are Italian teachers.
Brother,
Brother,
son,
son,
nephew,
nephew,
daughter,
daughter,
cousin.
cousin.
It's very important for us at the very beginning of a team that we spend some time talking about why we are here. And we talk about the characteristics that we can demonstrate throughout the 2 weeks here that will make us more effective as a team. But we also share our personal goals, the reasons why everyone came here, and then we look for some commonality, and then we form team goals, and then we support each other throughout the 2 weeks in accomplishing both our individual and our team goals.
Oggi no, perché siamo tutti impegnati, ma dopo oggi sì. Noi abbiamo molti appuntamenti questo pomeriggio, ma domani sera saremo...
Team members spend time over breakfast each morning evaluating their experience. Kathy Lane, Global Volunteers in-country coordinator for Southern Italy, finds such goals typically revolve around getting to know the local culture.
The group goals tend to be about either teaching English or motivating the students to want to learn English. Along with that, a very common goal is to experience the Italian culture as a non-tourist. There are usually goals about wanting to give, wanting to be of service. Frequently, the goals are to have fun. Occasionally, goals will be to eat more pasta. And people do have individual goals in the sense that they may want to reconnect with their ancestral heritage here. Some may want to learn to do some regional cooking, to experience some of the local culture in terms of cultural activities that may take place in a community, and to overall to have an experience that is different from anything that they've experienced before.
My hometown is Cupertino, California. It's about 100 kilometers south of San Francisco. Sud, yes. Sud is south. And you're asking me another question?
Living in Silicon Valley, everything is to the minute. Everything has to be exact. Everyone's constantly on the run, not really having personal relationships with the people they meet. Whereas here, everything is relationship driven. You meet the person on the street, they say hello, how are you? Every place you go, they want to know what are you like? And I notice that in the students. It's not just how do you speak English, it's what do you do in your spare time? What do you have for breakfast? What is life really like for you day to day? And so they really want to find out more about who I am, and also I want to find out more about who they are as people.
Are you married?
No, I am single.
Oh.
I have many friends who actually have done different type of volunteer work. So the idea of volunteer work was not foreign to them at all. However, the idea of spending several weeks of my personal vacation time, spending my own money to transport myself here, paying for my room and board here, was a little foreign, especially when you look at the name Global Volunteer. They assume volunteer means that they would help pitch in. But I had no problem with that because I felt it was important for me to have this opportunity to spend time with people in Italy, one, so I could gain a better understanding of what is life really like in Italy and get to know the people, and also to help contribute in some way.